The Financial Fashion brand, man, was created to empower people to be the best version of themselves. And we do that by promoting positivity, self-improvement, and financial literacy. And we also focus on mindset, faith, education, and wealth because those are the principles and those are the things that you can learn to be successful in life and in business. So with that being said, take a look at our website at fnfstore.com where you can find our apparel, you can find things about our company, and much more. Back to the show. You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in. Welcome to episode 23 of We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
Well, we good to be back, man. It's another episode, another conversation of high frequency and high vibration. But how you feeling today, Vic?
I'm feeling great, man. Beautiful day outside. It's hot, beautiful, sun shining. I'm grateful. I'm good, man. How about you?
Man, pressing on, still learning. Had a busy day today, but it's all good, man. I'm still pressing on, like I said. And this is a big part of the reason why I wanted to have the conversation that we're going to have today, because the topic is about energy.
Okay.
And as you can hear in my voice, like I have high energy right now because of stuff that was going on throughout my day. But I still have to keep in mind, you know, what my goal is. And my goal is to keep a sane mindset and to stay positive. And I'm actually fasting today. My goal is to fast this full whole 24 hours. And I didn't tell nobody because I just got the urge to just do it today after I had 2 cups of coffee already.
Mm-hmm.
But after I got the urge to deny myself, I just was like, you know what? I kind of want to get to another level, man. So I'm finna start fasting a little bit more. But tapping into the topic, I wanted to talk into energy, but more specifically, I want to talk about true intentions, your will and desire, and what that has to do with your energy when it comes to being your best self, when it comes to going after your goals. Because what I found out, bro, is that energy is so powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and that your intention is powerful as well. Because what is your intention? Your intention is what you plan to happen. Like what you trying to do. That's your intention. Like you thought about the end result. You calculated what you was trying to do. That's your intention. Like how people say, I intended to do this or I intended to do that. That's what you were trying to do. That's what intentions are. So what I'm learning is that you got to go after everything with intention. That's the energy you need to be able to attract the things that you need in your life, because there's a connection between your desire, your heart, your mindset. All of that has a connection to the energy that you have, because energy is another way of saying spiritual. It's another way of saying spirit, because your vibe, because think about the word vibration, right? The word vibration is really a long way of saying vibe. You know, we love to say this word in the culture. You know, I'm vibing with you. I'm catching the vibe. That's the energy. That's the spirit in the room. That's the frequency of conversation or the environment. So tapping into the environment that goes along with the energy that we're speaking of. And I'm gonna get your take on. I'm gonna ask a question to get your spill on it.
Okay.
Because the main reason I wanted to have this conversation is because we got to be very intentional. So I had to dive into true intention and energy, because if you don't connect what you're trying to do to a goal, you got to connect whatever energy that you desire to your goal, because you got to connect whatever energy you desire to your goal so that you actually know what you're looking for. And I'm gonna explain what I'm talking about, because check this out. To even have an intention, like I said, you had to really consider some things to even get to that point where you thought everything through, and you thought about your plan and you thought about how you wanted things to go. That's your intention, right? That's your what's another word for intention, bro? What you
Motive,
looking what you looking forward to?
ex- expecting.
Right, expectation. That's a
Okay.
great word for it. So what happens when you set a goal, right? When you set a goal and you think about that goal, you have to have a certain level of intention when you set a goal. That's the energy that you have to have when you set a goal, or else you won't have the wherewithal to even to attain that goal. Are you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about this because, like I said, if we don't intend, if we don't actually consider our plan or consider our goal when we tap into the type of energy that we want, um, it's impossible, honestly, bro, because you don't have a desired mission you going after without an intention.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us, a lot of the times I've seen myself do this. Like, you go with the flow of the wind. Like, you just go with however everybody else is feeling. Like, you don't really have an intention with your energy. Like, okay, we want to have a positive mindset, right?
Right.
That's the intention. Like, that's you putting intention on the type of energy you want to have. And a lot of times we just go with the flow of life without any intention on what type of energy we're trying to have. So that's why I wanted to bring this to the people, because we can't go we can't go after our goals with no energy of intention, with no
Right.
will, with no willpower, with no desire for nothing. We have to have an intent for our goals. We have to have an intent for the type of life that we want to live. So question for you, has there ever been a time where you was chasing a goal, but you didn't feel it in your heart? Like, you didn't have that intention in your heart. Like, the energy that you had didn't fit the goal that you was going after. Like, could you explain? Like, that's a question. Have that happen to you, first of all?
It's hard for me to really say right off bat because it seems like that really takes some serious thought. Because I ain't gonna hold you, this right here is kind of new to me and understanding it fully. Because it's like having the intention. I mean, I just thought that once I had a goal, that I had the intention.
But see, exactly. But see, that's what I'm saying. It takes intention to set that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you won't even have a mindset of saying, you know what, I'm gonna set this goal and I'm gonna accomplish this goal, because that mindset of you saying that to yourself is intent, because you intent on accomplishing this goal. So you have to have that desire in your heart. You have to have that within to even achieve that goal, is what I'm saying. Like, that energy of intention has to go along with your goal, or else, like, it's not a goal really.
Yeah.
Because like, think about it. If I have a goal of, let's say, what's one of my goals? One of my goals is to host a big community event next year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my intent.
Right.
But see, what's going to carry my intention out is all of those energies that goes along with your intention, which is your willpower, your discipline. You know, what's another one? Your willpower, your discipline, your desires. Like, all of those things gonna go into you chasing your goal after you make an intention for that goal. Like, all of this goes to the mindset of you thinking about what it is that you're doing, so you can be intentional, so you can be deliberate. And we have to think about these things so we can have better vision, because it's like you can be chasing something and it don't have a connection with fulfillment, with your purpose, because I feel like divine purpose is a heart thing. Like,
Mm,
there's
okay. Now I get what you're saying now. It sounds like to me like that goal got to be something that really speaks to our heart.
yes,
And sometimes we might end up pursuing the goal that don't necessarily touch our heart.
thank you,
And
man.
that's
I
when
was
we
trying to
don't
get that
have
out.
the intention.
Right.
I got you now. Yeah, yeah, I've done that before.
I
Yeah,
was trying to explain it, man, but I'm wordy. Like, I got a problem with that. So I was trying to word it the right way. But
yeah.
you made it perfectly, and it was all in the plan of God just now, because I was really having a hard time explaining that. So I'm glad that he was able to open the understanding for
Right.
me and for you. But definitely, bro, there's an inconsistency that's going to happen when you're chasing something that don't connect with your purpose from the inside, because I feel like intention and desire and will all have something in common. Those energies have something in common. And what is that? They all are on purpose. Like, you know, you know exactly what your will is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's on purpose.
Right.
You didn't accidentally have the will that you have. That's like, that don't even make sense.
Right.
So all of these things are different levels of consciousness, and knowing what you're looking for. And I feel like that's very pivotal to being successful at anything, whether it's business, whether it's at work, whether it's in a relationship. I really feel like that you should have an intention in mind before you do anything, so you won't be randomly doing things. It can be calculated, you know. And I feel like that's how you actually grow and reach milestones, by taking calculated steps. Now I know, like, we don't know everything, bro. Like, I know that. Like, I know, like, we don't know what tomorrow may bring. We can't control that. But we're talking about the things that we actually can control. And that's something that God gave us all. God gave us all the power to control the type of energy that we go about things in. And I posted a post on Facebook, bro. And I'm gonna get your take on that. And then we're gonna go to our segment and we're gonna get ready to, close it on out. But I posted a post on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I said that God gave us all the power to give things life. And I said we do that with our focus, attention, and intention. Focus, attention, and intention.
Mm-hmm.
Those three things is how it is the way that I view, like, in my opinion. Those things is the things that those things are the things that God gave us to give things life. Because if you notice, if you don't see it, then it's not real.
Right. Right.
That goes for everything, bro. Like, everything is a matter of whether you understand it or not. Because, like we say all the time, we can walk around saying God exists, but if a person don't have that consciousness, then God don't exist to that person. It
Right.
only exists. It only exists according to the consciousness that that person have.
Right. Or to that level of that they, believe.
Exactly, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So what you feel about that, bro? Because that focus is something that I feel focus is something that you got to control, man. And it's a thing to start controlling your mind and your focus. And I know me and you, we do meditation for that. But talk a little, tap in a little about tap into that a little bit real quick about focus, attention, and intention. What's your thoughts on that, on those things?
Man, coming straight off the top, man, it's super valid, bro. Because the scripture I was reading today was talking about um our thoughts and how we need to think on things that are true and pure, praiseworthy, stuff like that. And I think in our pursuit of our goals, we have to look at our goals that way. You know what I mean? Exactly the way you said it in our post. We got to give it that intention and really look at it from an aspect of intention, like I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And not just necessarily wait for, like you said, stuff to happen, or you know what I mean? So
Right.
I believe what you said wholeheartedly. And, just just piggybacking off of what you said, make sure we're, giving a positive thought to it. Like even when stuff don't go right necessarily, we can still, you know, remain positive about it so our intentions can stay positive, so our energy can stay positive.
That was so elegant how you put that, man. Man, that was so elegant.
Yeah, man.
It's like poetry, man. And the more I understand consciousness, and the more I understand how things are, unseen things I'm speaking of. The more I understand unseen things, the more I really have more clarity in my mind.
Right.
I'm starting to understand and how things work, because energy is how things work, bro. Everything is a cause and a response.
Real
Everything
talk.
is a cause and a reaction. Everything. So it's like that's why I really been on energy lately, man. And I'm still growing. I know you still growing, man, because
Mm-hmm.
some energies, man, like I said, energies is just another word for spirits. And energy and spirits are everywhere. So we got to be real intentional. Like I said, real intentional and real deliberate on the goals we set and what we're doing and what we're going after. So real quick, before we go into our segment, I'm gonna do a little quick little rundown of what we just talked about to give some type of practical steps of what we're saying, because the mindset that I'm speaking of is having this consciousness of that your energy has to have intention. Whatever the goal is, whatever you're doing, you have to have the energy that you're doing it in has to be intentional and deliberate, because if not, you're going to have some type of random. It's going to have a random effect on whatever it is that you're doing. So first,
Real talk.
you got to start with that mindset of what your goal is, first of all, because ultimately your goal is your intention. So like
Mm-hmm.
you got to think about that. You got to actually think about that consciously, and that's energy as well. Like that's going to boost your energy by thinking about that and putting your focus into that. Because we just said we give things life by our focus, our attention, and our intention. So by you focusing on that, something is going to happen. So that's step one. Be positive and be intentional. Think about the goal that you just set. Then two, I did want to mention this before we go to the segment of what we learned, because I'm gonna talk about this in the segment of what we learned. Number two is I talked about, you know, with taking that positivity along with that energy, like we just said, and connecting it with an environment that serves you. Because I know sometimes, we can have our energy and we can have the energy that we want, but we don't necessarily have the conducive environment that serves our energy.
Mm.
So
Mm.
environment is very important along with that, bro. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Tapping in, kings and queens. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast but didn't know where to start? Well, I got some good news for you. Have you ever heard about Anchor by Spotify? It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. It has tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you will need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, it's totally free. So if you're interested, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You go ahead and tap in, bro. You go ahead and tap in and tell the folks something, just drop something off, man. Something that you learned or already knew, bro. We just want to make sure we add value on this segment. That's the whole purpose.
Okay, yeah, I'm really just piggybacking off what you said, bro. With having that vision and that intention and that energy in mind, it's
Yeah,
like I learned that having that is important because moving forward throughout your day-to-day life, you'll have an idea of what you can say yes to and what you can say no to.
right.
You know what I mean? And that's super important because I know one thing that the pastor in my church be saying. He says, success isn't determined by what you say yes to, it's determined by what you say no to. Stuff has a ability of coming up all the time that may not necessarily align with the energy that we want. And we got to be able to say no to it and not just go with it. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
just stand in that energy so it can guide us on where to go and what not to do and what we should do. I'm learning that that's super important.
bro. That's a whole podcast topic right there. I think I need to write that down. Success is defined by what you success is defined by what you say no to, not just by what you say yes to.
Yes, sir.
That's strong.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
uh, Tapping in, man, of what I've been learning in real time and in real life, bro. Um, like I said earlier, is that you can be as positive as you want to be, but if that environment don't match that, it's only but so much you're gonna be able to do within that confinement.
Yeah.
So the goal is, if you have a positive mindset and you see that your environment isn't serving you, your job is to find one that does. And you can't make excuses about that. Like, I know everybody don't have the best circumstances, but your life is still the way you still can create the life that you want to create. Like, nothing is the end of the world. Only if you say it is, then it is. But if
All
you have
right.
a desire to have a lifestyle or a life, like, it can happen. It's all about what you want, you know what I'm saying, what you're trying to do. So you got to make sure that your positive mindset has a positive environment to match. Because if not, negativity is going to always be prevalent where positivity is. So, and they don't mix. Like, there's no good results that come from mixing positive with negative. Like, it's gonna always, if it's tainted with negativity, it's gonna always end up being negative. So you got to remove all the negativity in order for you to experience the most positive results. But with that being said, man, we're gonna tap into our last segment of the show, which is the financial theme of the month. And the financial theme of the month, of course, is investing into yourself. And that's just so important. Like, we say this, and it has become a cliche statement over the years. Like, invest into yourself. It's easy to say, but what are we investing into ourselves? Like, literally. And I think that everybody that's listening to this pod need to sit down and write down ways that you can invest in yourself. That's like some homework. That's some we invest different homework. Sit down, get a notepad or your notepad on your phone. Preferably, I want you to write into a composition book. But if not, get it whichever way you can. Sit down and go over some goals. Sit down and go over some stuff so we can start being intentional.
I dig that.
And I'm gonna leave that at that, bro. Um, Anything else you would like to say, Vic, before we tap out?
No, sir.
Man, I appreciate you for hopping on, man, and such short notice, man. Everything was going on over here, as y'all can hear. I got baby boy King Michael with me. But I thank God for everything. I thank God for this day, how challenging it was. We still was able to do everything we needed to get done. So to God be the glory, man, from my heart. But I thank everybody for tuning in to Conversation 23. And we'll see you guys next week for episode Conversation number 24. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And we gone, y'all.
Peace.
Did you know 1 out of every 4 adults suffer from mental illness in some type of way? This is why we created a movement called MH10. This was created to encourage and empower people to focus on themselves for at least 10 minutes per day, at least for a jog, a walk, or a run, or meditation for that time. The goal is to decrease stress, because stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental issues in the body. So if you want to join the movement, you can post on social media during your 10 minutes using hashtags MH10 or Mental Health 10 Minutes.